Riff-raff, street rat, I don't mind that. Only they'd look closer.
I'm not sure that's Twitch safe or YouTube safe, Mary.
Well, I don't know.
Live from the Shistery Mac, it's Into the Falls Live! Hello, everybody. I am AJ, that's Mary, and welcome to our definitive tier list of Disney princes. This is the only one.
We are still on the welcome screen.
And you should see it now.
Yes, I do. Okay.
Yay, we are fully live.
Yay! We're living.
We are alive.
Of course, when we say this is our definitive tier list, that means that no one else's opinion matters. We will not be taking input. If you disagree, you are wrong objectively.
Yes,
that's how
this
true. Works.
You are absolutely wrong.
But maybe you can come and learn something from us. Improve your life.
Yeah, we are very knowledgeable people here at Into the Falls, and you should always trust us. But then trust no one.
Trust no one except us. But
yes.
we're not one, we're two, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're all good. All right. So Mary, why don't you tell us how exactly this is going to work?
Okay, so I have a list of all the Disney princes, which is kind of a nebulous term, such as Disney princess is kind of a nebulous term. And we're gonna rank them. Our top ranking will be best dude. Next is good dude. Then right in the middle is all right dude. Next one is less than all right dude, which is like, you know, he's not great, but we don't hate him. The next one is throw the whole man away, which means we hate him.
Yeah. The bottom one is my favorite ranking here. Because I just love to imagine taking one of these guys and then just throwing him out a window. Not part of him, the whole thing.
The whole thing. The one, the image in the thumbnail is your Twitter icon photoshopped onto Prince Charming and Cinderella 3 jumping out the window, which doesn't count as throwing the whole man away because I guess you could say he's throwing himself away, but like if he's doing it voluntarily, then we don't get the same satisfaction.
Yeah.
I have some thoughts about Cinderella 3, but we can wait until we're ranking him.
We sure can.
I'm a little disappointed that just looking at the list we have here, there aren't a whole lot that I would throw away. Which like that's always the more fun one to talk about. I could see like one, maybe two that I would throw away. But we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah, we certainly will. And sort of riffing on what exactly makes a Disney prince or not, I came across this CBR article that I really would like to get into because I was just looking at it and I couldn't believe the Disney princes they put on this list that they supposedly called such. I'm just sharing this to our St. Canard Discord server, or rather being like, hey, we're live now.
Yeah. I guess some of the ones that CBR put on their list I can understand, but I wouldn't count personally. Like I guess Zeus, at least in the Disney version, is like king of the gods, which would make Hercules a prince, and like Simba is a prince for most of the movie, but like it's called the Lion King. He's pretty famously a king. Definitely
right
wouldn't. I don't think I would count Tarzan. I guess his adopted gorilla dad is like the leader of the bunch, but I don't think it's like a monarchy hierarchy kind of thing. I mean, there is a hierarchy, but not like a he's not even like a chief. I don't know. I haven't seen Tarzan in a while.
Yeah,
I know.
It doesn't. Okay, so it just doesn't fit. And
so
then, where does Milo Thatch fit into this? Like that was the one that I was just like, how could you call him a prince?
To be fair, Kida is a princess for most of the movie, but she's queen by the end. But they never like get married or anything. I don't even think they're like confirmed to be like in love at the end of it. It's very heavily implied, but I wouldn't count him.
Yeah. And like, what about Robin Hood?
No.
What is the deal with Robin Hood?
Okay, so I guess the logic there is that Maid Marian's uncle in that movie is King Richard, which I guess would make her a princess. But I think she's technically like a lady or a
Yeah.
duchess or something.
Yeah. Medieval hierarchies are weird, and I mean,
Yeah, I wouldn't like I'm not
you could
It's
call
like the
him
same
the
thing
Prince of Nottingham Forest, but then that's like
Prince of Thieves. Prince of Thieves. Yeah.
he's the Prince of Thieves,
But that's not the Disney version.
the Prince of
so
my
I'm not
furry
that
heart. But
Yeah,
what the heck
it would be.
were they thinking with Robin Hood? So yeah,
They were thinking we need to make a list, so we got to put out content.
yeah, pretty much. So
Well, it's like, okay, so I finally just like got into TikTok, and once the algorithm sort of worked itself out and realized that I wasn't like a racist, like almond mom, I found this girl who like her username is like Babbity Kane, and she has a lot of really good videos about like the Disney princess brand and the history of it, and like why some characters are considered a Disney princess and others aren't. And sort of the distinction between like a character in a Disney movie who is technically a princess and like a Disney princess. So I highly recommend her videos. She doesn't get into I don't think she gets into like the princes specifically, but she gets into this sort of idea of like why some of them qualify and why some don't. But without further ado, I don't have my laptop charger, so we gotta get started.
yeah, let's get right into it. So we've got a list of, I didn't count these.
There's
We've got
15.
like 15. Same as that CBR list, but we can guarantee that we're going to be much, much better than that. So
We are much more selective.
how about we just start from left to right? Does that sound good to you?
I was gonna do chronological order. I guess we can do either way.
You know what? Let's do chronological order. I like that. So, because that just means that because of the order these are placed in right here, we're gonna fudge it up, and so it'll just be
Yeah.
funnier that way.
Oh no, I have the order memorized. Don't you worry.
Okay.
I have
I
very
trust
good
you.
memory for dates. All right, so first up is the prince from Snow White, who does not have a name.
Yeah.
Officially. Some people like to call him Ferdinand or Florian, always an F name for
I
some
heard
reason.
Florian. Yeah.
Florian was like a fan made name. That was like transparently like I'm a fan and I'm making this up like as a joke. Ferdinand comes from when Shirley Temple was presenting like a special Oscar to Walt Disney. She mentioned the name Ferdinand and people took that to mean like, oh, that's the name of the prince. She was actually talking about a short film that the animation studio had made based on Ferdinand the Bull, which
Yeah.
later became a Blue Sky movie, which later retroactively became another Disney movie. But this guy doesn't have a name. He's just there, and he seems perfectly nice. He does kiss a woman who, for all he knows, is dead, but it's like the 1500s. I don't know what the etiquette was.
Yeah, that's kind of my general opinion here. He's the first Disney prince, so he's got that going for him in the first hand-drawn animated film ever made, but he doesn't do a whole lot. He has a very beautiful singing voice, but that's about it.
He probably has my favorite. He has my favorite song in the movie.
Yeah. But yeah, that's about it. He sings a song, and then he kisses Snow White, and then that's it. The film really doesn't focus on him a lot. It's mostly about the namesake Snow White and the 7 dwarfs. That's really what drives the movie, and the evil queen as well.
Yeah, I like him all right.
Yeah.
I'm not writing fanfics about him, but he seems pretty all right.
If he's an ice cream, I'm sure he's Bluebell homemade vanilla.
Vanilla sounds good. It's not bad ice cream. It's just not. There's not much there. So do
Yeah.
you want to put him in all right, dude?
Yeah. All right, dude. Sounds pretty all right, dude.
Pretty all right. Next chronologically is Prince Charming from Cinderella. Now I believe that is his official name, according to the sequels.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when you're thinking Cinderella, you're thinking of Prince Charming. And also of note, we're also factoring in the direct-to-DVD sequels and the live-action remakes to
In the live
judge
action,
these princes
we're
based
kind
on
of
their
lumping them all
character.
into one character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I like him in. I don't know. Have you seen the live action remake?
I have not. It's directed by
It's
Kenneth
pretty
Branagh,
good. It's
though.
it's one of the better ones in my opinion. I like him as a character in that one. He's not like I'm not writing home about it, but they give him a little more of a backstory and a little more of like a little more agency. He really doesn't have it in the original Cinderella. It's just his dad is trying to set him up with someone, and he's very bored with it.
Yeah, it's just kind of
sequels,
another. He's just there to find the slipper. That fits
he's just
Cinderella,
there so Cinderella
and that's
has a way to escape, because otherwise she doesn't have anywhere to go if she leaves that house. She could if she wanted to, but where would she go?
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same in the remake. I want to talk about specifically the third movie, which people tend to agree is one of the best Disney sequels, and I agree. So they kind of give him and Cinderella a little more to do in that movie. It's much more of like an adventure. They kind of switch the roles of him and his dad in that movie, because in the original, his dad is just like, I want grandkids, get married, I don't care who it's to, just give me grandkids. In the third one, he's introduced with he's sparring with his dad, they're like fencing, and his dad's like, but you can't fall in love with a girl just cause you danced once and she wore glass slippers. That's not a reason to marry someone. And I'm like, that's not what you were saying literally yesterday. So I don't know. And he's like, well, it could, the slipper could fit anybody. And he's like, well, it's all I have to go on. And it's like, literally, that's what the king was saying in the original movie. The Grand Duke was like, but a lot of people could fit this shoe. And he's like, that's your problem. I don't care. All these little inconsistencies that people like to point out in Disney movies, usually if you actually watch the movie, they're addressed in some way, or they just don't matter because it's a fairy tale.
Yeah.
But he's fun. Okay, what confuses me is when he discovers that the mice can talk. He's not that phased, but everyone that he says it to is freaked out. They're like, what do you mean talking mice? Which tells me that talking animals are not considered normal in this universe. But Cinderella has been talking to animals and they've been talking back to her for her entire life. So I guess she's used to it by now, which is why she's not saying anything about it.
Yeah.
But he's like, and the king's like, what do you mean talking bluebirds? And he's like, no, the bluebirds weren't talking. Is it that's ridiculous? And I'm like, wait, no, so what are the rules of nature? Why are you not existentially horrified that the mice can talk, but you take it for granted that birds can't? But everyone else thinks that's crazy. If they had talked to the king, would the king just accept it? Do they just if they haven't seen it happen, they assume it's impossible and they just don't worry about it? If someone brings it up, they're like, what the hell are you talking about? But if it happens to them, they're like, okay, I guess this is happening.
Yeah, I mean,
how does that,
it makes sense, I suppose, for the time period, because it's it's still very medieval, very
Listen,
royal,
we're all gonna die at 45.
Yeah.
We just gotta go with it.
We just gotta go with it, whatever life throws at us. Whether we're royalty or whether we're peasants. If mice can talk, then okay, then there must be something weird at play. I mean, if King Arthur could pull a sword out of a stone, then I guess mice can talk. Is that not plausible?
Anything is possible if you believe in yourself. That's the point of all these movies, right?
Yes.
But I like him. I like him especially in the sequels. He's a fun guy. He's jumping out windows. He is enjoying little musical numbers put on by mice. He and Cinderella really take more control in the third one. Whereas in the original, really everything is... It's not even oh, the prince is dictating Cinderella's life. It's everyone else is just... all these nothing side characters are basically dictating their lives. The fairy godmother just kind of shows up and is like, you'll go to the ball, it's fine. And then the king is like, you're gonna get married. And he's like, okay. So I'm gonna put him in good dude.
Yeah, I would agree he's a good dude.
He's a good dude.
I do like that they flesh him out a little bit in the sequels. And, I mean, fairy tales, when you think about it that way, are really, really weird.
You can't think too much about it.
Yeah. So you just gotta think he's a good dude.
And that's why a lot of these remakes fall flat, is because they're responding to all these logic questions that people have, and they're trying to like make it make logical sense. It's like, no, it's not going to. It can't. You can't make it make sense.
Yeah.
It's a fairy tale. Let's move on. Prince Philip, Sleeping Beauty.
From
What do
Sleeping
we think?
Beauty. I'm
Finally
automatically
a prince
thinking,
with a name.
Yeah, Prince Philip from Sleeping Beauty. From my recollection, I haven't seen Sleeping Beauty, admittedly, but from my recollection, he doesn't do much except...
No, he does.
Except slay a fucking dragon.
That's a pretty big thing, I feel like. He definitely like becomes the hero sort of in the third act. He's much more active than the first two.
Yeah. It's sort of interesting to me. So far, these films that we've talked about don't really focus all that much on the prince. It's mainly about the princess. But then could you argue it's that way with a lot of these, really?
Well, Sleeping Beauty's kind of an exception. Aurora's not in that much of it. Like, probably the fairies have the most screen time, the three good fairies and Maleficent. But Prince Philip, as Disney princes go so far, is the most active and has like the most personality in the original movie. Like they didn't have to add that in a sequel or anything.
Yeah.
I'm currently dragging the ones on my screen to be in chronological order.
Yeah, I'm just leaving it, and that's what the viewers are seeing.
Yeah.
So
they're all discombobulated.
I gotta say though, how much does he appear in Maleficent?
I don't remember. I only saw that movie once in theaters. I feel like he had a bigger role in it. No, not bigger. No, definitely not as big as in the original. Like he's still the love interest. They still end up together. But he's just, I don't know. I remember him just kind of being there in Maleficent, just to provide a source of conflict when Aurora starts falling in love, and it makes things difficult.
And I mean, of course, you have to have someone to slay Maleficent in the end.
No, she lives because she's the main character.
Okay, wow. Well,
she got a sequel.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. What do I know?
The plot of Maleficent. She's the protagonist. She's a good guy in this version. I put him in good dude.
I would honestly argue that the slaying of the dragon is significant enough to warrant him moving up into best dude. Just because that's such a big part of the film. It's the most action-packed part of it, and I mean, he slays a dragon. How awesome is that?
Yeah, what did these guys ever do?
Yeah, Prince Charming jumped out a window, and Prince Ferdinand kissed a girl. We don't know really what exactly they do outside of their princely lives. We don't know if they're battle capable. Prince Philip is battle capable.
That's true. They don't really need to do anything other than just be there, but they are just there. So I guess Prince Philip is like a skosh above them.
Yeah.
So I will concede to best dude.
Yes. All right.
My computer's running out fast, but I do have a backup plan if it dies. So don't worry, we can keep going.
You got a battery charger or something?
No, that's the thing, is I don't have my charger, but my mom has given me permission to use her laptop. I might just go grab it, and while we're talking, download Discord onto it.
Yeah. Mary has vanished. So, I'm just gonna chill right here. We got 2 viewers right now. How are y'all doing? Although, of course, being me, that might be just because I'm monitoring the stream on my phone.
Yeah, that's probably me. But the next one, in any case, is Prince Eric from The Little Mermaid. That's when we have that huge jump, because they don't do a fairy tale for 30 years.
Yeah.
Or at least not a traditional one. So, what do we think of Eric? And he is expanded more in the remake, which I don't know if you've seen.
I have
came
not.
out.
I'm honestly not interested in seeing it. I don't really.
Really?
I don't really want to give any of the Disney live action remakes my attention because I just don't really feel like that they're all that worth it, and because they always do the animals dirty in the films. They always look butt ugly, janky, weird. Although I will give The Little Mermaid this. They cast everybody pretty much perfectly. All the human characters look amazing, awesome, but what did they do to Sebastian?
Flounder's the more egregious one this time around.
Yeah.
I will say the movie.
And I mean,
Jacob
Jacob Tremblay is great. I liked him in Room. It's not him. It's the fish. It's purely the fish.
Yeah, I would say the movie as a whole is worth seeing if you like musicals, if you like fairy tales, if you really like the princesses and stuff like that. It's definitely one of the better ones. I feel like it's probably the best one since the Jungle Book remake that I really liked. I have my issues with it, which I won't get into because if someone hasn't seen it, I don't want to sway your opinion.
Yeah, it's pretty new, so I guess it's best to avoid spoilers. Although, given the track record with Disney live action remakes, did they really change any part of the story significantly?
Yes.
Well, okay
things.
then. Okay. Well
yeah,
then, so
this is really the first time in a while that it's felt like its own movie and not just like a rehash of the original. Like, it's clearly a remake of the original, but it's not like The Lion King where it's beat for beat. They just add a bunch of insignificant bullshit and like tell you that, oh no, it's more serious now. They actually do add like more of a, like they use that time to like expand on the characters. They don't really add any like major plot points that weren't in the original. There's one like small thing that they changed that bugged me a lot just because it didn't like offend me, but it was just like so unnecessary. It has to do with like Ursula's spell and like a stipulation that she adds onto it that affects nothing. But yeah, it's definitely like it has its problems, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the new songs that they added. I think Eric as a character is a tiny bit more interesting. I mean, he definitely has like more of a degree of personality in the original than some of the other princes do.
I've only seen the original, and so of course I know him as a swashbuckler, an adventure kind of prince.
They definitely retain that in the new one. Okay, here's one thing that bugs me about Eric, and it has nothing to do with the original or the remake. It has to do with Little Mermaid 2.
Oh boy.
Where he's in it, but he's not played by Christopher Daniel Barnes. Christopher Daniel Barnes comes back to play Prince Charming in Cinderella 2 and 3, does not come back to play the prince that he originated in Little Mermaid 2. So now he's played by, do you know who he's played by?
Oh, I'm gonna get his name wrong. Who voices Max? Is his name James Marsden or James?
It's not him. It's not him.
It's not him.
No. Think veteran voice actor who's like the opposite of this guy's voice in the original. Bearing in mind Christopher Daniel Barnes was 16 when he recorded his lines for the original.
16?
Yes.
Wow.
So, who's a voice actor that has a voice that you would not associate with that at all?
I mean, the first name I'm always gonna go to is Jim Cummings.
Nope. You're closer though. You're getting warmer.
Corey Burton.
No.
I'm just going down the line here.
I feel like you're gonna get it going down this line.
Better not be Bill Farmer.
No.
Okay. Has this person voiced any of the main Disney animal characters?
Oh, you mean like Mickey, Minnie, etc.?
Yeah, etc. The gang.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. You know, I might not get this after all. You might as well reveal it to me.
It's Rob Paulson.
Rob Paulson.
Basically doing the Yakko voice.
That's weird.
It sounds so wrong. If
That
you've seen
doesn't
The Little
sit
Mermaid
well
2, that
with
movie
me.
has a lot of other problems, but like the voice of Prince Eric is just so disconcerting.
Oh my gosh. I'm suddenly not really okay with this.
Guys, Rob Paulson is a great voice actor. We all know this. He is not.
He's the voice of Duck Avenger in the video game.
He's basically doing the Steelbeak voice, but without like the New York accent or whatever it is.
Yeah,
it's just very obviously Rob Paulson. He's not trying to sound like the original at all. They're not trying to find an actor who somewhat sounds like him. It just sounds
parents
like
will buy it for their kids.
50.
It's okay.
It's supposed to be set like 12 years later, and he sounds like he's aged like 50 years. But going by the precedent we set with Prince Philip, I think I would put him in Best Dude.
Yeah.
Especially since he has two very good ballads now that the remake is out. He has a very good one in the Broadway show and a different one in the remake, both of which I really like. Actually, I think his song in the Broadway show is the only song they added that I really like. The rest of them I think are just okay.
Gotcha. Yeah. You know, anytime a prince gets to express his feelings in song, which is not normally something you see them do, it's like, you gotta put him up a level for that.
Snow White did it a little bit. His feelings weren't that interesting, but he did it.
Yeah. But I mean...
Philip had a duet with Aurora. It was really her song.
Eric sails boats.
He does.
He's adventurous.
He impales a giant sea witch.
He basically impales Cthulhu.
Pretty much, yeah. So he's
Eric,
Best Dude.
Eric is Best Dude. So
Best Dude. Let's go to Next Dude. Who's the next dude?
Our
It's
next
the Beast.
dude is... Yeah, I was gonna guess. It's the Beast.
Okay, you can. I'll let you guess from this point forward.
I think
it's the Beast.
Yeah. Prince Adam.
That's a fan name, but I'll accept it.
I could have sworn that was canon, like somewhere.
No, they've used it on merchandise, but that was like the people making it were mistaken. They like heard that was his name and they just went with it, but he doesn't officially have a name. Just Beast. Yeah, so for purposes of the tier list, since this is the form that we see him in for most of the movie, I just use his beast form, not his human form.
Yeah. I gotta say, he's one of the most well-known Disney princes. He's definitely up there. He's might be one of the most interesting with his character progression, but I would say because he has to go through a lot of growth to make it to where he is now, I would say good dude.
Really? The opposite. I feel like because he has this very strong arc that the other ones so far don't have, I feel like that puts him up for me. Because that means he's willing to work for it. That means he's willing to change and recognize his own faults. And the other ones, like, it's not that they're not willing to do that, it's that we don't really get to see that. We don't see a whole lot of faults or a whole lot of, like, wanting to work on themselves for one reason or another.
Yeah, that is a very strong point. But then also, he wasn't really doing all of that stuff on his own, though. Like, it took Belle to meet him and sort of put him in his place, I guess in a way that the castle subjects couldn't do or weren't able to do, and that's what started his progression and eventually his transformation.
I think Belle was a motivator, but I don't think she was like doing the work for him.
She was the catalyst.
I think she told him what he needed. I mean, and the servants were kind of telling him what he needed to do too. It was like, try to control your temper, and like, here's how you treat people when you want them to like you.
He spent like 10 or so years trapped in his castle, just wallowing, though.
Well, yeah, and that's why it's such an impressive change when he does put in the work to improve himself, and like he doesn't do it because he thinks that the curse is going to be lifted. He's like hoping for that at first, but then like by the end of it, he fully thinks that that's not going to happen, that Belle does not return his feelings, or that they can't be together, and he's still acting on like the person that he wants to be. Like, he's still not going to kill Gaston, he's not going to hurt people, he's not going to be cruel, because he's realized that it's not worth it, it's not doing anything for anybody, and he has realized that he's better than that, with or without this romantic partner. Okay. She was the catalyst for it, but she's not like the condition for it. It's not like if he doesn't get her, that he's gonna go back to this. Like, there's sort of this subtext of like, because he got to meet her and fall in love with her, it's all worth it, even if the curse doesn't get broken.
Yeah. You know, you convinced me. Like, that was a very, very good point made. And I mean, you know, he's got his own ballad in the live action remake, so. And
in the Broadway show, again, 2 very good songs that serve different purposes, but I really liked both of them.
Yeah. He's got actually like 2, I think, in the Broadway show, which I've been listening to that soundtrack since I was a kid. Fantastic.
I'd say he has like
love every
1.5
song on it.
in the Broadway show. He has like How Long Must This Go On, which is like a 30-second song, and then If I Can't Love Her, which is the big one. That's the Act 1 finale. Josh Groban has covered both If I Can't Love Her and Evermore from the remake.
Yeah.
And then he played the Beast in the like live ABC special they did, which I haven't seen, but I kind of want to. I don't know if they do.
Yeah, I
think when they did that for The Little Mermaid, they did songs from the Broadway version, or at least they did Eric's song. So I'm curious if they did If I Can't Love Her, or any of the ones from the Broadway show. They incorporate a little bit of Home, which is one of Belle's songs from the Broadway show, into like the orchestral score of the remake, but they don't actually have the song, which kind of bummed me out. But yeah, I would put him in Best Dude, or Beast Dude in this case.
Beast Dude, yes. I will concede
Beast
that
himself.
you made a very good point with his arc. The Beast is the best dude. Well,
I'm very persuasive.
You are. This is why you're one of the co-hosts. This is why you're the one that knows everything and I know nothing.
This is why you're not just talking into a void when you record the podcast.
Yes.
All right,
exactly.
Which one do you think is next chronologically?
Aladdin. It's gotta be Aladdin.
It's our boy. Make a wish.
We are proud of this boy.
I'm very proud of my boy. He's my boy now. Make a wish. What do you wish for?
I wish for 1,000 wishes.
No, not allowed. Robin Williams' genie laid that all out. It's not allowed.
Yeah. Let's see if I remember them. You can't kill anybody. You can't make anybody fall in love with anybody else. Aladdin kind of found a loophole on that one, which, I mean, points to him for that. And then you can't bring anyone back from the dead, because apparently it's a very grisly picture.
It's not a pretty picture. I don't like doing it.
Nope. That was not. Nope.
And Ixnay on the wishing for more wishes.
Righto. All right. So, I don't know. Make a case for Aladdin, I guess, for Best Dude.
For Best Dude?
Because unlike a lot of these other fairy tales, he is the main character, main character of his own movie.
this is probably the only Disney princess movie, so to speak, where the princess is not the main character, is not the protagonist. It's called Aladdin, and it's about Aladdin. Well, let's see. Again, he has, a whole arc. He definitely starts from a better place than the Beast does, so he doesn't have to do as much work, but it's more about, coping with his own insecurities, and, he sort of internalized all the things that people are saying about him. He says that he... Excuse me. He says that he doesn't believe it, that he's, a riff-raff street rat. I don't buy that. But I think, deep down, he's insecure about it, and he feels like that's how everyone sees him, and there's, no way to change that, or no exception to that. He's the only one who knows that he's a fully fledged human being with, dreams,
emotions,
and hopes, and wishes.
Dreams,
and wishes, of course. I don't know if I would put him in best dude. It's not that I don't like him, but I feel like maybe his arc isn't as interesting. It's probably more relatable, universally. Just having to get this confidence in yourself, because it starts to, when he just won't get it, it's affecting the people around him. It's affecting because he's so insecure about this, he ends up breaking his promise to the genie, and he's lashing out at his friends, and he's lying to this woman that he wants to love him, and he's lying because he thinks that's gonna make her love him.
Yeah, it's basically a conflict with his image, I feel like, because he, like you said, he's insecure because he's poor. He doesn't have the nicest clothes, and people can only see the people around him only see what's on the outside. So I think what drives him, at least in the first and second acts, is, becoming a prince, becoming that lavish person that he thinks everybody else is going to appreciate and admire.
And he kind of thinks that that's that external change is gonna fix everything.
Yeah, exactly.
That if he can become this prince, if he can get this external validation, then he'll have proven that he's worth something.
Yeah, when I suppose he knows to an extent that he was worth it just on his own all along.
Talk enough about any Disney character, I feel like you can make them sound so much more interesting than you ever thought they were. Yeah. So now I'm kind of changing my mind. I kind of want to put him in best dude. I think he's better than Prince Charming, at least. Or at least on par with him. Which I guess would put him in good dude, technically. But, we're getting into the princes that have arcs.
Yeah.
So
and
I'll be generous.
He's got street rat smarts, which is how he's able to sort of he doesn't really engage in a battle per se, like maybe Prince Philip or Prince Eric, but he's able to take down the entire evil genie that Jafar becomes by simply finding the loophole.
Just by using his own he's basically using Jafar's deep-seated insecurity and want for external validation and power against him.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of been in the same place, only he doesn't want to rule over people, he just wants people to like him, basically. But he can see the kind of person that Jafar is and what Jafar wants, and he's using that against him, so it makes him very, very smart. He's
and
probably
I guess
so far
it's
the
like
most
the perfect
clever.
ending to his arc as well, because he comes to realize that this powerful image that he so wanted has its drawbacks, has its restrictions, and now
it's starting to hurt people.
Demonstrating
he's realized that by this.
That's
at that point in the movie,
Jafar.
he just realized this was wrong. This is not the way to go about what I'm trying to do. I'd put him in best dude.
Yes. All right. See, Mary brings me over with the Beast, and then I bring Mary over with Aladdin. We get our little trade-offs, and everything's great. We've got 4 best dudes so far. I would say that's a really good record.
Good dudes.
Of course, How's
are.
John
Who do you
Smith
think the
gonna
next
fare
one
in
is?
that? How's John Smith gonna fare in this? Is he gonna be our next?
This is tricky.
All right, dude.
Maybe. It depends. Are we going by solely John Smith, the fictionalized character in the Disney movie Pocahontas, or are we adding in John Smith, the real person that he was loosely based on?
I would say let's keep real life out of it. Let's keep the history books out of it.
Like confined to just the movie. Let's pretend it's not based on historical fact at all.
The Disney Prince John Smith.
Yeah, technically, they don't end up together.
Yeah, and I mean...
But he is the love interest, so I guess he counts.
Yeah, and I guess Pocahontas, she's the daughter of the chief, right?
Yes, but as I said earlier, there's a distinction between a character in a Disney movie who is technically a princess or technically not a princess, and someone who's part of the Disney princess brand, and Pocahontas is part of that brand, so we count.
Okay.
I'm actually allegedly I'm related to Pocahontas.
That's really fascinating.
It would be very, very distant, but apparently her son married into my family. I've heard that we're, like, distantly related, and I've heard that we're, like, direct descendants. I know she's in our genealogy book because her son married into some branch of my family, so I'm related to her in some way. It's not like I met her, it's not like she was my grandma, and I was always at her house. I don't claim to know anything about her or her culture.
Yeah.
Except that she existed and was kidnapped and forced to marry an Englishman, who I guess I'm also related to him in that case. It was not this guy, though. It was John Rolfe. That's who she ends up with in the sequel, which is wild. I don't think any other Disney movie has done something like that. Just have her end up with someone completely different.
Yeah. So, he's not in the sequel at all, right?
No, he is.
Okay. Is there, like, a complicated...
He basically...
love triangle going on with that, or?
Yeah, kind of. I saw the movie once, like 10 years ago. He basically gives them his blessing to be together because he realizes that they're really in love now. So I think they sail back to Virginia together after that.
That's really interesting.
So I think he stays in England. There's this really dumb plot point where he, like, dies at the beginning, but there's this mysterious cloaked figure that keeps showing up, and oh my god, who could it be? And then it turns out, oh my god, it's John Smith, he's been alive this whole time, and I'm like, whoa! No way! Hey,
it came out direct to DVD. I'm sure the kids ate it up.
Not even direct to DVD, it would be direct to VHS at that point. Do you know who plays John Smith in the original movie, though?
I wouldn't have any idea.
It was Mel Gibson!
Okay.
It was our favorite guy, Mel Gibson!
Mel Gibson. I mean, of course, back then, he was huge.
Back then, we didn't know how bad of a guy he was. So I can't fault Disney specifically for that, because how were they supposed to know? I fault them for other things involving this movie, but again, we've agreed to keep, like, historical fact and real life out of it, which I guess means we're not factoring in the fact that it's Mel Gibson. It's his brother in the sequel. I don't remember his brother's name, but it's another Gibson playing him.
Yeah, which is interesting. Sort of like the Tom Hanks, Jim Hanks dichotomy.
And I think Brian Doyle Murray played Baloo in one of the direct-to-video Jungle Book movies, and then Bill Murray plays him in the remake years later, which is kind of the reverse.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
But anyway, John Smith starts out pretty racist.
Yeah, I mean, he's an Englishman.
Racist.
He's a quote-unquote conqueror. You know how the Englishmen were coming over to America.
It's 1607. They're gonna have some attitudes about things, but on an individual level, they can change. On an institutional level, maybe not.
Yeah, especially with an institution as powerful as Great Britain at that time.
Yeah. But he...
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
I don't know, I haven't seen the movie in a while, is he, like, still a colonizer by the end? Because he goes back to England, but it's only because he's very injured. He's been shot non-fatally, and they have to take him back for medical treatment. That's why he and Pocahontas don't end up together.
Yeah. I mean,
feel like
you're barking up the wrong magical tree on that one.
So the thing is, in this movie, it's basically this idea that, like, this one guy, Governor Radcliffe represents all the bad parts of colonialism, and once he's out of the way, it's just a bunch of good guys, which I don't think is, accurate to the history, but we're leaving history out of it. So
it's
guess
fuzzy in that respect, but it's
yeah.
a Disney movie.
It's just hard. It's very hard to talk about this movie at all without talking about the history behind it.
Yeah, and it's fascinating to me with that, like purely based on its story, that this was the project that all the top Disney animators really wanted to work on.
Well, it's like a historical drama, and it's like based on true events very loosely. And
it's got Mel Gibson in it.
It's a culture they haven't done before. It's this big sweeping musical. It's much more dramatic, much less comedic. There's still comedy in it, but less so than The Lion King, I think. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm actually wearing a Pocahontas sock on one foot. The other foot has my Belle sock.
Nice.
Yeah, they're from Hot Topic. I've had them for years. Yeah, so I think purely...
Would you say that was by random choice, or...
No, I was definitely aware of it when I put my socks on today.
Okay. I didn't know if you had biases towards certain Disney princesses.
I used to have... my friend got me in college, like, a whole set of Disney princess socks from Hot Topic, and I've just lost most of them.
Ouch.
So these are the ones that I have left. I have a Rapunzel sock somewhere. But, I would say purely as the fictional Disney character John Smith, not accounting Mel Gibson or the real John Smith at all, I would put him in All Right Dude.
Yeah, I definitely feel like...
Starts out pretty racist, ends up not very racist,
and also ends up injured.
Also gets injured. It evens out.
Yeah, I would say he's...
And he goes back home. He stops colonizing personally. Colonization keeps happening, but he's not directly involved anymore, I don't think, in the world of this movie.
Yeah, so, whatever. He's an alright dude.
He's an alright dude.
Another one where, it's not his movie, it's Pocahontas' movie.
Yeah.
Alright, Shang from Mulan.
Wrong! There's one before him.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, no, it's because we're counting Anastasia, isn't it?
We're counting Anastasia. Disney counts Disney, which now owns Anastasia because they own Fox. They count her. If you go on Disney Plus, if there's a princess,
it's a Fox release and a Don Bluth movie, and yet somehow we're counting this guy as a Disney prince.
Retroactively, it's a Disney movie. Disney Plus counts Anastasia as one of their princess movies. Therefore, Dimitri counts as a Disney prince for our purposes. So what do we think?
Absolutely backwash wild to me. I'm gonna defer to you since this one is one I haven't seen. Admittedly, I guess in the larger pantheon of Don Bluth movies, I haven't seen many.
I've seen this. I've seen Secret of NIMH.
Secret of NIMH is fantastic. Amazing movie.
The
first Land Before Time movie is the only one that exists to me in this series. That one's great. I might have seen the Nostalgia Critic talk about The Pebble and the Penguin before.
Oh, I saw that when I was really little. So Dimitri...
I've not seen All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Dimitri, in the movie Anastasia, he's pretty cool. He's fun. He's got some good jokes. He's got a nice, sort of fun attitude. He's a con man. He's a swindler. He's a complicated figure. I think I like his character better in the musical, which I've seen twice now. It's very good. I definitely like the musical as a whole better than the movie. So I feel like the love story in that movie is more rushed. Even just because they start out butting heads and not a whole lot happens to develop them to the point where they're actually in love. You kind of know what's going to happen just because that's the rom-com trope, because we're in the 90s now, and that's what love interests have to do. They have to start out not liking each other very much. So it's a surprise when they end up together, except it's not. Yeah. No, I don't say it's either all right dude or good dude.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally deferring to you with this.
I gotta,
And
I gotta put him above. I gotta put him above John Smith though. So I think good dude.
Yeah, and we're not completely factoring in any of the real life.
He was not based on a real
goings-on.
person.
Okay.
Dimitri was not based on a real person. So that
Okay.
doesn't matter to begin with.
Right then. So, Dimitri from Anastasia. All right, dude. Or
I
good
put him in-
dude. Good dude.
Yeah, I put him in good
I've
dude.
put him
It's
in
gotta
good
be.
dude.
My computer's at 28%. Okay, so if it dies, I'm gonna switch to my phone.
Okay.
Because I couldn't figure out my mom's iPad.
That's all right. I'm sure we
Yeah.
can rattle these off. If it's held up so far, it'll probably hold up for the rest of them. So now are we on to Shang from Mulan?
Now we are on to Shang from Mulan. Another one that I haven't seen in like a couple of years. But I feel like I remember it well enough.
Good dude, at least.
At least a good dude, yeah. I feel like he has his own arc kind of similar to Aladdin where he feels like he has to prove himself, he has to live up to his father, he has to prove himself to his father. Then of course his father dies and he's just kind of lost. Because he's like, who do I prove myself to now? I'm questioning my sexuality, I'm seeing all this
Yeah.
violence. Just a very tumultuous time.
In comes this man.
Yeah.
This man.
I have not seen the live action remake. I'm assuming you haven't either.
I have not. No real desire to.
I don't think it's the same character in the remake either. I think they give him a different name.
I
and
think
he's, like, kinda has a
I
different
think
role.
he's absolute. I'm pretty sure he's absolutely axed in the live action remake.
She does have a love interest, I think, but it's not him. So if you've seen Mulan 2, one of the worst Disney sequels, I think. And
If you lead off with that, I mean, you can already assume that I haven't seen a lot of these movies, but when you call it the worst Disney direct-to-video sequel ever, there's a good chance
don't know that
I'm
unless you've seen it.
definitely not see it and probably will never see it.
You don't really need to unless you're like a completionist and you're like, I gotta see all the Disney sequels, which no, you don't. But
Or if you're a masochist? Question mark.
They make him and Mushu both more of a jerk in the movie. Mushu is basically the antagonist. He's trying to break up Shang and Mulan, who just got engaged despite only knowing each other for a month. That's an actual plot point. They say like, oh, we haven't known each other that long, but it's fine. And then it turns out they're like answering all these questions after they get engaged, and they like disagree on like what they want the wedding to be like and how many kids they might want and this and that and that and that. And I'm like, no, you got to talk about this before you get engaged, guys.
Yes.
If you're thinking this differently, like I'm not saying you got to agree on everything. I mean, that's not how relationships work. But you gotta
have a basis to fall back.
You gotta agree
onto.
on whether or not you want kids. Like that's
Yeah.
Because Shang's saying he wants like 10 kids, and Mulan's like, oh, maybe 1 or 2. And it's like, yeah, you gotta talk about this. You gotta have the conversation. And then they just spend the whole movie fighting and being stupid. And it's dumb rom-com stuff, and that brings him down for me. If we're factoring in the live-action remakes, I think we can, and we factored in the sequels for Prince Charming, so I think we gotta factor that in.
Yeah,
for
we we have to.
I think that brings him down to all right, dude. I wouldn't say less than all right. I'd say all right, and that's the lowest I will go for Shang.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, on that basis.
And if you're watching this and you're like
dude.
yelling at us because you love Shang and
Yeah.
you don't count the sequel, I completely understand. There's frankly no. The only reason I'm counting the sequel is because we set a precedent with the Prince from Cinderella.
We did.
We counted the sequels for him.
If his characterization can get a bolster from that to put him in good dude, then
it can also
any
get,
detractions
like, it can also be a
that
detriment,
Shang displays in Mulan 2 will have to put him down.
For purposes of this list, he is an all right dude. I think in the original movie, I would say good dude, but because of that sequel, it's all right.
Yeah. It's a shame to do that to such good bisexual representation.
It is. He's a mean bi.
He's
Who's
a mean
next?
bi.
He's
Meanwhile, I'm a pushover bi.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month indeed. Shoot. I don't know. I'm looking at this guy right here to the left of Kristoff, and I don't know who that is. Oh wait, no wait.
I'm not looking at the same order as
know,
you. Is he animated?
I do know. Yes, I think he's one of the people from Enchanted. So.
That is Edward from Enchanted. If you're looking at the animated one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So are we going
James
Enchanted
Marsden.
first? Are we going Enchanted first, or Naveen from The Princess and the Frog first?
Enchanted came out first. So
okay, so let's cover Enchanted then.
Yes.
I guess let's start with Edward since I pointed him out.
Let's start with Edward. We meet him first in the movie too.
Of course. He's just a dingleberry.
That feels like you're
He's
selling
just
him
a
short.
silly dingleberry.
I think he is the quintessential himbo. I think he's great. He's funny. He's kind. He like the reason he doesn't end up with Giselle is not because he turns out to be a jerk. It's just because they get to know each other a little better, and they're like, oh, we don't really mesh romantically.
Yeah.
We mesh better with these other people, which is a normal human thing to happen. It does not, it's nobody's fault. It just happened. They're like, hey, we just met. Now we're
which
talking
is sort
a
of the
little more.
beauty
We're
about
realizing
like Enchanted.
It's not a romantic thing.
In its whole goal to sort of riff on these classic Disney movie tropes.
And that goes into the fact that Idina Menzel's character is also not a villain. She just doesn't mesh with this guy anymore. They've kind of grown apart, and she's like, okay, we're not meant to be, and I'm bummed about it, but there's nothing I can do. It's not anybody's fault. It just happens.
Yeah, and stuff like that doesn't usually happen in one of these classic Disney animated films, but it does happen in a lot of rom-coms.
It doesn't happen in movies in general that much, I feel like. At least not up to this point. It was pretty rare up to the 2000s.
Yeah.
It was usually if the love interest was already with someone, then that person was a jerk, or they were super vain, and movies still do this to an extent. But
that's
basically,
good. That's easy storytelling.
Yeah, because then it's easy. Because then there's no conflict with oh, I really like this person, but they're with someone else. Because if you can just say, well, that other person is terrible, then you don't feel bad for them having to break up and change all these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
he's a good dude.
He gets his own. Yeah, he gets a queen. I'd say he's a good dude. I don't think he even really. I'm not going to say that he doesn't have faults, but I don't think he's really is hurting anybody.
No,
I still wouldn't put him in best dude because he's not that interesting, but he is very funny. He's very enjoyable.
He sings out in the middle of a park with no music whatsoever.
He sings out. He's also played by James Marsden, who should be in more things. We should put him in more things.
Okay, so Edward
Doesn't matter
from
what the
Enchanted
things
is
are,
good dude.
He's a good dude. Next one's the other guy from Enchanted. It's Robert. I keep wanting to call him Patrick because he's played by Patrick Dempsey. But he's Robert, and he's pretty fun. Yeah. He's not as funny because he's supposed to be the straight man. That's by design.
Yeah, but
he's a good
by all
dad.
Accounts,
he's trying
a very
to raise...
good dude. Very good dude.
What?
I just said by all accounts a very good dude.
He's a pretty good dude. He's raising his daughter, trying to raise her to be empowered and self-starting, and trying to point out good female role models, and he goes a little far in discouraging the princess stuff because hey, you can do both. You can enjoy both. You can watch Disney princess movies and read about important women from history.
Yeah, because you gotta balance out your work with the fun, but Giselle's just landed in this mysterious live-action world, and their personalities, their styles clash a little bit at first. So he's just got to warm up to that.
And he's still he's not cruel to her. He helps her. He tries to help her to the extent that he can, and then it just turns out oh, she's still here. She's not leaving. Or things are happening that are preventing her from leaving. So I guess I'll try and help her. He just keeps trying to be nice, and it's causing problems. He's listen, I'll call a cab for you, but you're a strange woman. I have my daughter here. I don't want a stranger sleeping on our couch. And then it's she falls asleep, and he's okay, you can stay the night. And then it's okay, I'll give you some money to get wherever you need to go.
It's like slowly but surely
and
his
then-
wall is broken
and
down
just
by this
things
strange
hijinks
woman.
keep yes, and hijinks keep ensuing that just kind of keep them around each other.
And then they fall in
it's
love.
fun. I'd say and then they fall in love, and then they have a baby in the next movie. They got a little baby.
Yeah.
And he does it. The second.
Yeah, I
movie is
suppose
not
we didn't
very
really
good.
talk about Edward that much in Disenchanted, so do we want to cover that real quick now?
Well, neither of them have that much to do in Disenchanted, and it's kind of obvious that they were filming it with COVID restrictions because a lot of the actors are just not in the same scenes together for a lot of the movie. It's also just like story-wise, like the whole crux of the second movie is the relationship between Giselle and Morgan. Now that Morgan's a teenager, their sort of mother-daughter relationship, and how like now that Giselle has wished for everything to be like a fairy tale, she's the stepmother, which means she's becoming more evil. So it's about like reconciling that relationship, and it's like because Morgan kind of becomes Snow White for a lot of the movie, so like because she and Giselle are like different characters the whole time, I don't really care what happens with their relationship anymore, or it doesn't feel like their relationship is being developed that much because we're just seeing them play different people.
Yeah.
The songs aren't that good either. I'm very sorry to say. I was really looking forward to it. The songs are not that good. There's Idina Menzel gets a ballad finally, but it's not. The lyrics aren't that good. It's called Love Power, and it's about how memories are magic, and the magic is you, and you're the magic, and love is the magic, and it's powerful, and memories are power, and love's power. The
first song I think of when I hear that title is the end credit song from Muppet Treasure Island.
That song. I think it's better than Love Power, at least.
Yeah. Love Power is better than Love Power. What a revelation.
Yeah.
So
what other songs? There's a villain song that's like kind of fun but not that good. There's like the Happy Village song, which is not very interesting in my opinion. There's the song she sings when they get to the house, and she's singing about how everything is even more enchanted, and I'm like, this is a boring song. I don't like this. Make this a better movie, please. I've been waiting for this for 15 years.
So yeah, for once on our list, a sequel that really doesn't contribute much to our opinions on these characters.
He's just kind of running around. He's like, because the fairy tale wish turns him into like the noble hero who has to slay the dragon. He's like looking for monsters to fight, but like it doesn't go well, and he's just kind of walking around with a sword. He's like, I don't know, I have this.
I have this.
And he's a different character for a lot of the movie, so it's like, what's the point?
Yeah. So can we just stick to them both being good dudes?
They're both good dudes.
They're both good dudes.
I'm all right with that.
Excellent. All right. You just got
Naveen.
a couple left
Sorry,
here.
you're supposed to guess, but you already knew that. All right, Naveen.
Yeah, Naveen from The Princess and the Frog.
Which is the movie that I've seen the most amount of times. Hang on. Make a wish real quick.
I wish for my own restaurant.
Make a smaller wish.
I wish for a delicious plate of beignets.
Make a smaller animal-related wish.
I wish I was a duck.
Hang on. Where'd it go? All right, best I can do is this.
Aw. Well, I mean, that's all right.
This came with the Tiano Funko Pop that a high school friend gave me for my birthday once.
Those big eyes, I'm not quite sure work on that frog.
Oh, they don't? You don't like this?
Oh, yeah. It just looks like the frog is staring into my soul.
Get
it away.
Will you be my friend? I need a friend right now. I'm going through some tough times.
Sorry, you have the wrong number.
Oh, okay. Will you be my friend, whoever's number this is? You want to see a movie?
Hello? Who is this?
You have to speak up. I'm wearing a towel.
Jason? Is that you?
No. I don't know any Jason. Is Jason cool?
Jason's my grandson.
Is he cool? Is your grandson cool?
That's what the kids are saying nowadays, right? Yes, he is very cool.
Oh, cool. I'd like to meet Jason. I'd like to meet you too. You sound nice.
My son tells me I shouldn't meet strange people who call my phone.
Do you want to meet at the park or something where there's a lot of people around? There's no danger.
That sounds lovely.
All right.
Perhaps we can share a coffee.
We could, yeah. Yeah, I'll sip and sip coffee.
Well, that would be lovely, young man.
Oh, let's go to the park.
Yes, I will be there as soon as I can.
Yeah, so will I. I'll be hopping on to the armrest.
Excellent.
And I'll just be sitting there waiting for you. All right. I'll see you there.
See you there as well.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, so
That was a fun tangent.
I would call that a sketch. We're not factoring in that sketch because that's not official Disney content.
No, of course not.
Naveen,
We're just a we're just a couple of dopes here.
what's your case for or against Naveen?
I think he's a pretty good dude. He's got a lot on his plate, being the prince of a country, kind of pressured to find a...
He gets more on his plate because he ends up married to a chef.
Yes, of course.
That puts more on his plate.
Yes,
And he learns how
but
to mint, so you can put that
as
on
far
his plate.
as royal obligations, I feel like he's still got a better life working with Tiana in her restaurant.
Yeah. I mean, his parents were, not letting him coast on being royalty, basically, so I don't know if he's technically in line for the throne anymore. So he doesn't really have royal duties. He was just there to find a rich wife.
Yeah.
But he, I think, has a pretty good arc. He's kind of listless. He's kind of lost in life, and then has to realize that, hey, it's not about partying and having and spending money and womanizing. It's about being happy and having friends and maybe love and being happy with who you are and finding things that you enjoy.
Yeah. And not being a frog.
Part of the lesson is that you can be a frog and do all those things. What matters is that you're happy. I would say either good dude or best dude. This guy's one of my favorites. I think I would put him in best.
I'm perfectly fine to concede with good dude, but I would like to hear why you think he's best dude.
Well, I think the precedent we set with the Beast and Aladdin is they both started from not so great places, and then throughout their arc became much better, much more interesting characters. And I think all the guys we have in Good Dude are just kind of not that. Not that they're not interesting, but they don't have that much going on. Yeah. So I think I would put him above the guys that we currently have in Good Dude, and therefore he would be in Best Dude.
I can concede that.
He's also funnier than a lot of these guys.
Yeah, I definitely agree. A lot of our best dudes are one of the primary focuses of their films, so they have this time to really flesh them out and make them interesting. A lot of these others are side characters. Pretty
much. All right, my computer's at 12%. We got 3 left. Where are we putting them?
Let's blaze through them. Flynn Rider, let's go.
Flynn Rider is the most overrated Disney prince. That is a fact. Hot take. We want to talk about hot take. Hot take. Okay, saying that Tangled is a better movie than Frozen is, you are completely entitled to that opinion. It's not a hot take. So many people think that. People forget that after Tangled came out, it completely dominated the Disney fandom for the next 3 years. It only got tossed off its throne because Frozen came out. If Frozen had never come out, we would probably still be in Tangled fever and Tangled fatigue and just Tangled everything. Which I feel like people keep saying that, oh, Tangled is so underrated. Oh, Rapunzel is such an underrated princess and Flynn is such an underrated prince. And I'm like, they're really not. I think they're appropriately rated. I don't think they're No, they're overrated. I think they're overrated. I like them. I like the movie. I have it on Blu-ray. I like Rapunzel. She's not my favorite princess, but I like her. She's cute. I watched the show. Flynn Rider, just kind of a rehash of Aladdin. He's not like terrible, but he's not like, it's nothing that we haven't seen before and we haven't seen done better. And like, yes, he has the arc, but it's less interesting in my opinion, because it just sort of happens. It's just kind of, he's a thief and now he's not a thief because he fell in love. And also we're not factoring in Zachary Levi because we didn't factor in Mel Gibson, so it wouldn't be fair. But again and again how little he can actually coast on the fact that he was Flynn Rider. Like, dude, that character is not that great, and neither are you. I would say
he's got Flynn Rider and he's got Shazam.
He barely got Shazam. That movie, the second one, flopped so hard.
I didn't see it, but I liked the first one though.
I like the first one. The second one's
and I guess that's back
good.
before we thought Zachary Levi was a horrible person.
That was before we knew that he was like an anti-vaxxer, weird conservative leaning guy. He like follows the Gays Against Groomers Twitter account, which like, if you take that fully at face value, then yes, I am gay and I am against child grooming. But the thing is, what they consider to be child grooming is just kind of children knowing that gay people exist in general. So I can't support this thing that's just saying like, we can't let kids know that we're here.
Anyway.
But Zachary Levi's supporting it, so but he's not Flynn Rider. Flynn Rider's a fictional character who I would say is an alright dude. We haven't said the name Eugene once. I know his real name is Eugene. It's fine. They're both his name.
I gotta be honest. You mentioned rehash of Aladdin, and I just kind of stopped. And I was just like, damn, you're right. I didn't want to hear that, but you're kind of right. Like, he's kind of self-centered, he's adventurous, he's swashbuckling, he's street smart.
He's an insecure orphan who puts on a fake persona to get people to like him.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a distinction in that the fake persona is his, like, thief persona. He's not doing it to get the princess to fall in love with him.
They both have sort of an I can show you the world moment with their respective princesses.
Pretty much, yeah. Also, the songs in Tangled aren't that good, guys. I'm sorry. They're not that good. They're fine. I like Mother Knows Best.
If I were to take either Aladdin or Tangled, I would take, Aladdin.
I just don't like Glenn Slater's lyrics that much in a lot of songs. I like a lot of the songs in Gallivant. Weirdly, I like his songs in Home on the Range. I don't like that movie, but I like the songs. This one, like, they're hit and miss for me. I feel like the good ones are When Will My Life Begin, which is, like, cute. It's not as good as most of the Disney Princess I Want songs, but it's very different. I like that's a very different genre. I like I See the Light. It's a little generic. How
about Mother Knows Best?
I like Mother Knows Best. We always like a good villain song. That's a funny one. It's really lays out the kind of villain that we're dealing with.
This is probably not a hot take. This is probably a very cold take. Be Prepared from The Lion King. Best Disney villain song.
It's very good. I think my personal favorite is Poor Unfortunate Souls. But even in the Tangled TV series, like the Tangled TV series, like, they flesh him out a little more, but it's not enough to really make me, like, obsess over him, basically. And people were also saying, like, in the 3 years between Tangled and Frozen, they're like, oh my god, he's so hot, he's like the hottest Disney prince. I'm like, I mean, he's designed to be attractive, but he kind of has a generic face too. Just the chisel jaw and the goatee and the.
He's got the blue steel.
Yeah, I'm just not a Tangled fangirl. That's just not me.
I guess I will concede, all right, dude, even though that, I still like Flynn, but that Aladdin comparison kind of hurt me a little bit at how accurate that was.
Aladdin did it better.
Aladdin did do it better.
It also pissed me off that people were like, oh my god, everyone just forgets about Tangled. It's like, no, they don't. They forget about Princess and the Frog. That's what they forget about.
Yeah, they do that. And hopefully this new ride will remedy that.
I am being oppressed as a Princess and the Frog stan. That's me in the 2010s. In the 2010s. I wouldn't say that now, but that's how I was feeling on like the Disney Tumblr fandom in like 2014. I was like, Tangled is not underrated. Princess and the Frog is underrated. Like in this pantheon of films, not in the like context of like film in general. I think there are more underrated Disney movies. But as far as princess movies, I think okay. Yeah. Two more. We've praised a lot of these. Let's go with Kristoff first. All right, let's go with Kristoff first. What do we I'm not
good dude.
I think good dude, yeah. I think he's a little more interesting than Flynn Rider. He's not my favorite. I like that he's kind of just doing his thing.
He's doing his thing.
He's not trying to get anybody to fall in love. He's not trying to save anybody. He's
a mountain man.
They just make a business arrangement.
He's got a reindeer.
Yeah. He's got his reindeer. He's a very cute reindeer dog thing. And then he has a very good song in the sequel, even though the sequel's not that good. I'm hoping the third one is better.
There's gonna be a third one?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
They announced it at the same time as Zootopia 2 and Toy Story 5.
Wow. Okay, that's gonna be a year with a lot of big franchises.
I don't know if they're all coming out in the same year, but they were all announced at the same time. I would put him in Good Dude. I don't think there's enough to him to put him in Best Dude.
Yeah, I would agree. Because again, it's not really his movie. It's Elsa and Anna's movie.
It is. And technically, Anna's the queen at the end of the second movie, so is he even a prince anymore?
Yeah.
They're not even married yet. Is he a prince anymore?
Yeah, but he's here, and
I guess Queen Elizabeth's husband was considered a prince until he died. I don't know.
Yeah. And I know some of you might be a little disappointed with how many of these we've kind of said, yeah, they're great princes, or they were just all right. If there's one prince that I think we can throw the entire man away, it's Hans.
It's Hans. All right, let's talk about Hans.
Let's talk. He's a dick.
I got the reveal spoiled for me before the movie came out. It was like months before the movie came out, and the children's book version of it leaked, and we all found out that Hans was the villain. Like a bunch of us did on Tumblr. I should not have looked at it.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I like sought it out because I was morbidly curious, or if I just saw it by accident. But I remember like being in that theater and everyone was shocked, and I was just like, yeah, that's what happens. And then I saw it like 6 more times at theater, so it doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah. I didn't encounter that spoiler. So genuinely, when me and my family finally saw the movie just at home, I think we just sort of copped the Blu-ray version online somewhere, and I begrudgingly, admittedly, sat down and watched it. I was kind of shocked to find out that Hans was the villain.
And like, it's not like one of the biggest reveals in history. It's just something that Disney hadn't really done at the time. Like, there was kind of a surprise villain in Wreck-It Ralph, but it was like you already knew that character was the villain. They just kind of added a layer to like, and also this is happening.
Yeah, he's King Candy and he's a dick, but also he's... Oh, come on. People have seen Wreck-It Ralph.
Has everybody seen Wreck-It Ralph? I guess
people have seen Wreck-It Ralph. Come on.
Okay, yeah. We can spoil Wreck-It Ralph. It's an 11-year-old movie at this point.
He's Turbo.
It's Turbo-tastic. But yeah, so you already knew that character was the villain. You just didn't know that he was also Turbo. This guy, like, you think the Alan Tudyk character is going to be the villain, and then like
quote-unquote good intentions.
And then like, no, he doesn't do shit to anybody. Hans is the real villain. Hans is pulling the strings, which is wild for the time. And of course now every Disney movie has to have a twist villain. They had, Big Hero 6 was more of a whodunit. I got that spoiled for me too.
Oops.
I think that one I just like got too curious and impulsively like clicked it saying like this is a spoiler. I'm telling you who the villain is. I clicked it. I'm like, oh, it's him. Then I found out
would you
from
call
YouTube
Encanto
comment,
a
who the
reversal
villain
of this
was in
trope?
Zootopia. I don't think I got spoiled for Moana. I know I didn't get spoiled for Coco because that actually got me in the theater. I remember being like, what?
Coco is amazing. Coco is
It is.
incredible. I wanted to
Great.
say, do you think Encanto is a reversal of sorts of this trope in which Bruno is sort of made out to be the villain by the family when it turns out he's absolutely not?
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. Yeah, honestly, the first time I saw Encanto, when they said we don't talk about Bruno in the opening song, I thought that was just gonna be a joke, and then they moved on. They never talk about him again. But no, there's an entire song about how they don't talk about Bruno, and then it's like, no, we have to talk about Bruno for the plot to happen.
Yeah. By the way, haven't technically seen Encanto. I say technically because my mom saw it on our flight back from Seattle, and I was in the seat behind her, so I just kind of watched it over her shoulder with no audio. So yeah, I guess you could say I didn't technically watch it, but I mean, I knew the plot beforehand, so I knew some of the stuff that was going to happen.
We made great time because my computer's at 1%. But if you want me to join from my phone, we can play our AO3 game.
Oh boy.
Want to play the AO3 game?
Well, it's only been an hour. We've got maybe an hour 30. We've got some time. We could play a quick round of the AO3 game.
All right. I'm going to turn my computer off and join on my phone, and then we will play the classic AO3 game.
Yeah, I'm going to cut to break and get that set up, and we will be right back.
I'll be back.
I think there's nothing in the world more beautiful than falling in love.
I don't have like a stand for my phone, so I'm just gonna do this and hope for the best. Okay, not a great angle. I'll put my computer down. There we go. We're back! We're gonna play the AO3 game. So fun. My mom's iPad, so I can still see the call and also be on AO3 and not be logged in. I haven't seen them, I can't. Alright. I think we're just gonna go chronological. We're gonna look up the movie on AO3 and we're gonna guess how many works it will take before we get to a smut fic. Same as the DreamWorks stream. The stream works. It's a good question. We gotta guess if it's them or like some kind of crack ship. Yeah, the older ones I'm not expecting to have a whole lot. The newer ones absolutely will, I think. Snow White, I would say maybe the 10th one. And then I don't think it's I don't think it's gonna be Snow White and the Prince. I think it's gonna be two of the dwarves. Or maybe Evil Queen X Reader. I can see that happening. I think we established that last time, yes. We're both wrong. All right, I'll say 20. I'll update it to 20. Close. It was either going to be that or X Reader. Yay! I'm close enough. I know I was in like a Disney role-playing group on Tumblr when I was in high school, and a lot of the people who played the villains would ship the villains together. Like, it would be like Jafar and Maleficent or whatever. I guess the Descendants movies technically ship Hades and Maleficent, and so does House of Mouse. Descendants just made it canon, they have a kid together. I guess spoilers for Descendants 3, it turns out Hades is her dad. Yes. Okay. I feel like Cinderella's more popular than Snow White. I feel like if it's not Cinderella and the Prince, maybe it's the King and the Grand Duke, or stepsister and original male character. Maybe it'll be Anastasia and the Baker. Maybe it'll be Lady Tremaine and one of her dead husbands, or one of the other villains from another Disney movie, or Lady Tremaine and the Grand Duke. They kind of have something going on in the remake, or they're like cohorts of the remake. Oh, number, I'm gonna say 25 or thereabouts. Yeah, there are a lot of those. I don't know why I didn't think those were a possibility. Yep. That's why I'm surprised at myself that I didn't think those could maybe be in the running. I mean, those still count. What number was it? Alright, so we both lost super hard. Is getting non-conned also lost, I guess. Yes, Sleeping Beauty. I feel like it's gonna be Maleficent X, either original character or a villain from another Disney movie, or the Three Fairies. It's gonna be Maleficent X someone. Let's say 45. Let me check. That might mean that it's like... That might mean that it's like implied or it like almost happens. I wouldn't count it unless it's like actually going on. You fine? Alright, hold on. Let me catch up. I just got to the... Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, exclude crossovers. Okay, I don't think that's smut. Yeah. Okay, so the first one is Aurora Maleficent. That was a very popular pairing back in the day. This is a very recent fic, though. This is like 2 days old. It's not smut, though. Okay, what have we got? We've got Aurora... The search that I'm looking at, Sleeping Beauty 1959, that fandom, excluding crossovers... The second one says it's explicit, but it doesn't say anything about, like, what the explicit stuff is? Oh, that's true, we're not doing anthologies, are we? Or that's a crossover, whatever. Alright, let's see, that's Descendants. Oh, that's an interesting one, but it's a crossover, technically, so... Yes, I see it. I see it, yeah. Yes. Wait, are we sure this is... Oh, you go 2 more down, you've got Maleficent, Evil Queen. That's got some very, very clear tags. Yeah, I like it. This is hard because with Disney, it's like... let's count that one because Lucian Never Sleeps doesn't have, like, any tags about, like, what's actually in it. We might want to adjust... Maybe, but we might want to adjust our rules because this is Disney, so many of them are going to be anthology like multi-fandom things. So I think going forward, we may need to count those. Yeah, but I think it's gonna be hard to find. All right, Little Mermaid. We've got Little Mermaid 2023, Little Mermaid 1989. Okay. It's the... I'm not sure. I'm looking at something right now I'm not totally sure about. You find it if you see one that's tagged like Ariel Eric, click on that and you'll be able to find 1989 from there. You're welcome. What can I say except you're welcome? There's no prince in that movie, so it doesn't count. What are we gonna rank Maui? Gross. Oh, you're looking at 23. I'm looking at 89. Oh, number 23. Okay. I can't guess because I think I've already seen it. No, what? Yeah, I don't know because it doesn't say. See, that's a crossover. That's a very weird crossover. Okay, all I'm seeing are super weird crossovers. So for like non-weird crossovers, I'm gonna say 20. Oh, I forgot to. Yeah, a few of those. Found it. Yep. Yeah, I got 5. We both lost. Alright. You do. Alright, Beauty and the Beast, I feel like this one's gonna have more. I feel like it's gonna be number 6. Unless it's Gaston and someone. Could be Beast. Could be somebody else. Could be one of the silly girls, or bimbettes, as they're called. Let's see. Yep, that's it. Okay. Yeah, Adam and Gaston. I knew there was gonna be something like that. We've got all of them. We've got a hinge relationship going on here. Y'all seen Cabaret, the movie version of Cabaret? It's the same thing. It's a 1920s AU. There's murder going on, organized crime, corpses, eventual happy end. Alright, Aladdin. I'm gonna say 10. And I think it's gonna be Aladdin X Genie. Include crossovers. Guess for the number. I guess 6, right? Did I say 6? Oh no, I think I did say 10. Okay, so I think you're technically closer, but neither of us were right. It's literally the first one. Well, it was posted today. Oh, Jasmine's the genie in this universe. No, because I was thinking Genie the character, not like Genie the type of creature. Yeah, but I don't think I deserve it. All right, we've got a problematic one now, but we're gonna see some Pocahontas things. I think it's gonna be. Yep, I think it's gonna be Pocahontas x John Smith, maybe Pocahontas x Nakoma. I gotta exclude crossovers. Her bestie. Her female best friend. I'm gonna say I don't think there's gonna be a whole lot. I think it's gonna be number 12. So exclude crossovers. And I'm not counting that one. Not counting that one. Not counting that one. All right, let me start counting over. I think because I keep just pointing out. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not number 5. 7, 8. Bad. It's all bad. It's all bad. What is consensual non-consent? I mean, hey, whatever floats your boat. All right, Mulan. I feel like it's gonna have a little more than this one, and I feel like it's gonna be. Oh, right. I made the same mistake. Okay, Anastasia. I think it's gonna be number 8. And I think it's gonna be Anastasia Dimitri. Gotta find. Alright, let me find the fandom. Okay, 1997. Exclude crossovers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hang on. Yeah, these two are both rated M, but are clearly like have it. I don't know how explicit it is because we're not going to read these. This one has slight smut and eventual smut. All right, I think I technically won. Okay, now let's look at Mulan. I think it's going to be Mulan as Ping with Shang, and I think it's going to be number 4. Wearing a hat. I guess 4. What's your guess? But it's Shang X Reader. Shang X Your Name. YN, yes, no. Okay, Enchanted, I think Enchanted it's either gonna be Robert and Giselle or it's gonna be Robert and Edward. And I think it's gonna be number 5. I'm gonna say 5. I'm pulling these numbers out of my ass. Alright, let me find the fandom. This one's tough. Do they have? I mean, they've got to exist somewhere. Like, I said 5. Okay, here it is. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Does this have? No, I don't think it does. Oh, that's a crossover too. I got excluded. That's a Glee AU or something. 1, 2. Yep, that counts. Arranged marriage forces 2 young lovers to wed. The only problem, they can't stand each other. Penelope/Pip is married into royalty, and Victor was born into. Both have very different lifestyles and beliefs. Clash with the chipmunk? I mean, it's specific to the fandom, and it's very clearly tagged, but, like, I don't understand what the pairing is. But who's Victor, and who's Penelope, and is it just a female version of the chipmunk Pip? And what is happening, and why did you write this? We may never know. Yeah, okay. Princess and the Frog. Princess and the Frog, I feel like there's not gonna be no, don't like that. Let's see, we're not doing Once Upon a Time. Let me find the fandom. He's an alligator, but maybe. I think it's just gonna be Tiana and Naveen for this one. Or Tiana and Charlotte. Or somebody with Facilier. I feel like people really like the villains for these purposes. Exclude crossovers. Okay, I'm gonna guess 7. It says slight smut, so I guess that counts. What I say? Oh, I guess I win. But do I really? Alright, Tangled I think is going to have a lot more. I think it's going to be Rapunzel and Eugene, and I think it's going to be number 4. Let me find the fandom. Don't like that. Okay, just let me find the fandom and exclude crossovers. Let's do Tangled Disney. Alright, Tangled 2010. Exclude crossovers. What did I say? Number 4? I think that counts. Okay, I lose 5, 6, 7. I don't think that counts. I think you were closer. Hold on. That's not the number I got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's number 9. Suitors of Rapunzel. Yeah. This place has everything. A lot of what? Oh god. Oh, I just registered it. Okay. This place has everything. Let me read some of the tags. This place has everything. Requited, unrequited love. Angst and romance. Mutual, unrequited pining. Cheating. Sexy Eugene Fitzherbert. Scene actually does contain a lap dance. Drunken kissing. Movie burst. Consensual non-consent. Consensual non-consent. Eventual happy ending. By Jane. let's move on. Let's move on to Frozen. Let's do Frozen Disney. I feel like that'll make it easier to find. Oh yeah, it is the last one. Okay. Okay, unfortunately, I think it's gonna be... I think we had the same first thought. Let's just see it and see if we were right. I think it's gonna be number 3. Alright, exclude crossovers. I don't think that counts. That's a crossover. That's a crossover. It's number 9 by my count. Yeah, this is not what either of us expected in any way. Wait, is it? It's 2 of them. Okay. Each chapter. Oh no! Oh no! Each chapter is bonds with various brothers. The only tags outside of relationship and character is male/incest plot. What plot / poured without plot, then threesome MMM. It's called Price of Failure. That's disturbing to me. Time to get this off of my mom's iPad so she doesn't have to look at this and be like, what the fuck were you doing? Dream! It was. I like the AO3 game. Everyone should play it. Put your own spin on it. There's so many things you can do with AO3. With searching things on AO3. I get so many weird messages on fanfiction.net, so I think I'm gonna stop posting there altogether. Or just, like, delete my account entirely, like, archive the fics that I wrote when I was, like, 15 and just let them... I don't know her. Like, she's my age, so we were, like, friends for a while, but we grew apart, so she refused to grow up, so... I think for our next stream, we should try to do something. We are working on it. We have made slight progress. We are almost done with it. I actually have gotten... Yeah. And also just a lot of... Yeah, we've got the script for the fake ad. A lot of life stuff going on. That... Gotta prioritize that. Fun! I'm gonna try to get my certificate for makeup application so I can do that for a living while I try to, like, do some writing on the side whenever I can. Eventually! And a blanket apology to all of the guests that I've reached out to who have expressed interest in doing it, and we still haven't recorded because we're trying to do, like, 1 in, 1 out. I will contact them before we record the episode they agreed to see, like, hey, are you still interested? Do you still want to do this? And hopefully they do, but we gotta prioritize our education, our work, our lives. We're very much doing it for fun, and I probably shouldn't have... I got a little trigger happy reaching out to guests because I thought we were gonna be doing this faster, but, like, we probably should have done it closer to, like... I don't know how I should have done it, but gotta just live. Yeah, like I'm AJ's going back to school. I am about to start hopefully my last summer of graduate school before I can get my MFA. And then teach make it decent. Is that everyone is oh it's me, but AJ's frozen on my end. I think I'm frozen on his end. Let me hang up and call back. Yes. You froze on my end. I assume I also froze on your end. We have the same hair color. You're Kristoff because you're blonde now. But you're not the same shade of blonde as Elsa, so you're Kristoff. Do you remember that edit that went around of like Elsa without makeup, but it was just like she no longer has eyelashes? It's like, no, that's not how makeup works. So many people were debunking it and just being like, that's not, like, no, she would still have eyelashes. They just like wouldn't be as thick or as like dark. Like, you still have them most of the time. Oh no, he froze again. Oh no! Oh my god. Alright, I think that's as good as any. I'll see. See you at the park later. He will. See you at the park. I'll be on the bed. I don't remember the voice I gave. Thanks. It's always nice to make new friends. I don't remember the voice that I gave him, but it was not like his actual voice in the movie, so. Alright. Enjoy your weekend. Probably a non-Disney one this time. What's up? What's up?
Fuck. I completely forgot to turn my mic back up when we went on break. And so they've only been hearing your voice for the AO3 game.
You can fill in the blanks, it's fine.
I'm so fucking embarrassed.
Whatever, we'll see you next time.
Good night,
We'll
everybody.
probably
Trust no one. Fuck my
We'll
life.
be more educated. Bye!
Bye-bye.